Impact Mindset is a platform for entrepreneurs to share their journey, to share their stories, to share their hopes, to share their values, and to share why they got into entrepreneurship in the first place. Because entrepreneurship is not just a journey, it's a mindset. And so the question we ask on Impact Mindset is, what is the one idea, the one key idea that got you started? Or the one key catalyst that got you started on the entrepreneurship journey? For some, it was simply the necessity of starting with something new, a new adventure, to start a new product, to start a new service, to get into the market, to serve a market opportunity, or simply to give back to the community. For others, adversity was the key catalyst to get into the marketplace. And my guest today is one of those who, having faced an adversity in her life, decided to take her own life into her own hands, to put something back into the marketplace and to get into a field that in our own home country, Nigeria, was predominantly male. She decided she would take the challenge. And so, as you know, doing business anywhere is not without challenges. The challenges of understanding the market, of dealing with your own personalities, dealing with your own individuality, dealing with the identity issues, and dealing with even the shortcomings that could be faced in the sector. And in Africa, it is especially challenging, but it's also full of opportunities. Africa is currently the marketplace to go. It is also the market that is growing and offers entrepreneurship opportunities. There is a rise of innovation hubs all over the continent and offers opportunities for entrepreneurs of every nationality, of every color and hue to engage in entrepreneurship and business on the continent. So today on Impact Mindset, to share her experience with us is Daramola Kehinde. She is Managing Director of LEC Woodworks, CEO of Zarep Home Essentials, and the founder of the Young Widows Might Foundation Nigeria. She is an architect, designer, planner, and monitoring and evaluation expert. She is an experienced consultant with over 10 years in architectural designs, project management, space planning, and construction. She holds a master's degree in architecture from Covenant University of Nigeria and is registered with the Architects Registration Council of Nigeria and the Nigerian Institute of Architects. So Ms Kehinde is on the show today to share with us her career path as an architect and entrepreneur. Welcome to the show, Kehinde.
Thank you so much, Bruno. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. Could you tell our audience a little bit more about yourself? Kind of like, personal background, your training, your education, and anything you would like.
Okay, my name is Daramola Kehinde. I have my first degree in architecture in 2006 from Covenant University and immediately proceeded for my master's in the same institution. I graduated in 2008 with my MSc in architecture. So after my NYC, I proceeded to working for an architectural firm. I relocated to Abuja to work as an architect for a space of 2 years before I moved to Lagos to continue my career in architecture. Yes, in 2018, that was 10 years afterwards, I had to quit my job because of certain decisions that I needed to make for the next phase of my life. So I would say right now I'm an entrepreneur, and I'm also running an NGO alongside.
How did your background influence your choice to be an architect? What was the point in your life that you thought this would be a career choice for you?
15, I lost my spouse, and I was alone with my 2 kids, and I needed to care for them. I'd always wanted to build my career in architecture, but I wanted a structured environment where I could grow, I could learn, and I could, also impact. But along the line, I realized that most of the organizations where I worked, I didn't have it. Those organizations didn't have the kind of structure that I would have wanted. So I got discouraged at a point, and coupled with the fact that I was a single parent and I needed to give my children a better life, I knew if I was going to continue in that career path, I wasn't going to achieve my goal. So in 2018, I decided to quit my job, even though I didn't know how I was going to survive being an entrepreneur. I had to enroll for trainings, and also had to do a lot of clarity for me to know what next I needed to do. And I'm glad I was able to pin down on what I'm doing right now. And I would say it's been great. That's what I don't get my decision of working as an entrepreneur.
Yeah, absolutely. What are some of the challenges you face as an entrepreneur? Because for many people, it could be quite a daunting and frightening task, in terms of getting into entrepreneurship and doing things for yourself without really knowing how the next bill will be supported and all of that. How did you manage that uncertainty?
I would say my field is a male-dominated profession, and because of that, I had a lot of challenges trying to make. Though my educational background in architecture already has exposed me to constant site work where you have to meet workmen and all that so often on site. So I had this educational background and an experience over the years that have exposed me to working with male majorly whenever we go to site. So when I ventured into entrepreneur, it wasn't so hard for me to actually fuse into it. Though the only difference now is that I was the one in charge. So right. I needed to, how to get some more skills and how to handle most of the workmen. And we know in Africa, most men are very, they have so much ego. So you need to know how to show them the respect they deserve and also be firm as a professional. So some of the things that I learned is that, number one, because I was a woman, I needed to be humble and also be firm on what I really wanted to achieve in my business. So another thing that I needed to do, that I had to do, was to be teachable. Most of the workmen that we meet, most of them are so experienced, and because of that, they look at you as if you're so young and what do you have to offer? Though I know I'm a professional in my field, but I needed to come to a level whereby, even though I'm a professional, I need to also learn from these workmen, not indirectly making them know that. The last thing that I would say is that you just need to be more innovative. The world is evolving every time, and humans are also yearning for more things, yearning for something better than they used to experience. So you can't keep doing You can't keep doing the same thing that we were doing 50, 30 years ago in the same industry. You can't keep bringing that to the table. You need to look for other ways of innovating things or bringing out new solutions to problems and making the job more interesting for you. Because if you don't make the job interesting for you, then you get discouraged again, you get bored on what you're doing. So you need to find out ways you can make things better from what they used to be. So those are the few things that I can mention right now that I've been able to learn. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's in every sector that you are, you bring in not only your professional experience, you bring in also your life experience, and you bring in who you are as an individual. In your case, as a woman, you bring in a unique perspective that men would not have in the sector, for example. And I think that is kind of the unique experience that served you, or that is serving you well in the profession that is in. And one thing that I've noticed in my research is that a lot of women are really being integrated into the sector in Nigeria. Isn't that the case?
Yes, it is, because women in Nigeria now they are no longer sleeping. That is what I'll say. Women are no longer sleeping, because if you were to take statistics of women who are virtually the ones bringing food to the table in Nigeria, I would say now they are almost over 50%. So a woman can't afford to stay back home and not go out there and do something, because if you don't work and if you don't bring something to the house, how will your children survive? So, and we already have cases of several single moms and single parents, widows or divorcees or separated women, who also need to go out there and bring something to the table. So women now are not looking at the limitation around them. They are not looking at this, they are not tagging any job a man's job anymore. Recently, I saw on LinkedIn of a woman in the eastern part of Nigeria who produces spare parts. In short, all her staffs were women, and she goes through the process of, doing the blacksmithing and doing all of the processing in bringing out spare parts for motorcycles. And this is a woman. So there is no limitation in what women actually can do. Gone are the days where, our parents, most of them were just relegated to being housewives. But now very few women want to sit back at home. Everybody wants to fend for themselves and, make themselves useful. So, and I think is very impressive, though we shouldn't leave our home front for the sake of our career or our dreams, but it doesn't also mean that we should leave our kids to suffer while we sit at home. So everyone just have to do something, to make the best out of their lives. So that's what I see.
I agree totally with you. Insofar as you live as an individual, as a human being, if you don't have the support that you need, you have to find it, and you get it in the sector. And I think that a lot of women could be inspired by other female architects, for example, Ola Jumoke, who is, I think, the finest female architect in Nigeria, right?
Oh yeah. So we have few women that is also doing great in architecture. Recently, Tosi Oshinoro, she's also a great architect. She's young, so a lot of young ladies also like to, they follow her and they like to be her protege. So we have quite a number of them, though there are still quite few in architecture. But I would say that women are also taking their place. Quite a number of them are doing well. They might not be so known out there, but I would say that female architects are doing very well in whichever field they try to concentrate in. Architecture as a profession is vast, and you could divert into different areas depending on what your passion is. So there are architects that are into fashion, there are architects that are into furniture making, there are architects that are into construction, there are architects that focus mainly on design. So it all depends on what the person really wants to do. Most of the people that we hear about are possibly those who are focused mainly on design. Yeah. So like architect Jumoke that you mentioned, she's an architect that focuses mainly on design. She just does her design and push it out there, and she's making a lot of mark globally. So female architects are also standing up to the challenge.
I think so. What have been some of the main lessons you have learned within the sector over these years?
Yeah, one thing I've learned over the years is that always seek for new avenues to have more ideas. Seek for innovative way to provide solutions. There is a lot of problem in Africa, and you cannot just sit behind the drawing table and or your computer and just draw. You need to look for what is lacking. What problems can I solve? What can I bring into this profession? So you have to keep thinking of new ways, of new ideas you can propel and things that you can do to benefit mankind. Because aside that we are professionals in our field, God himself has put inside of us something that is meant to impact another person. So you cannot just stay behind what you have been trained on and not look for better ways in making more impact, in reaching out to more people, on making their lives better. So what I have learned is that as an architect, I need to think further than what I can see at the moment. Look for new innovative materials, more cheap materials, locally made materials that can make housing more affordable for the common man. Because presently in Nigeria, there's a lot of housing issues. A lot of people are living in shanties. They don't have a good roof over their heads. What are we doing in that line in making these people have a more conducive and a more comfortable place to live? That is the work of an architect. We need to think outside the box and provide solutions in solving most of our continent's problem. So one of the things I'm learning right now is to ensure that I keep training myself and I keep researching in knowing or in building myself in knowing what next I can do to affect another person's life positively, which I think most entrepreneurs should also look towards that direction.
Yeah, how are you bringing that uniqueness into LSC Woodworks? Because that's your direction within the architectural space, right? You are focusing on woodworks, is that right?
Yes.
What is the uniqueness you're bringing into the sector with LSC Works?
Okay, LSC Woodwork was born out of my passion for wood. And because I love wood, aside the smell of wood, I just love the fact that wood is so flexible and there's so many things you can achieve with it. So being a versatile material, I was looking at an avenue where I could use the same material to make innovative things, to make buildings that people can live in the East, I would say that in the Western world, a lot of houses are built out of wood, but here in Nigeria, most houses are made out of concrete and steels and reinforcement. So, but most of these materials are expensive. They're expensive to acquire. They're expensive to use. Though they are good, but they are quite expensive. So what LSC Woodwork, what I'm trying to do with LSC Woodwork is looking at ways I can use wood in making products, in pushing out products that can be used by, that can be affordable, and also use wood to build. I was discussing with someone on LinkedIn, and we are also looking at the direction of, making use of wood for our structural buildings rather than the use of concrete and reinforcement. We can invite the use of wood in building, because wood now is now like the new thing that could be used to make.
I say that we have quite a good supply of wood in the region.
Yes. We are in a tropical climate, so wood, we can never run out of it. The only thing we can do to ensure that it's sustainable is to have continuous plantings of these trees. So if you take out one tree, you replace it with 10 or more. So
right,
and we have the land, and we have this, and we have the land, we have the fertile land to grow these trees. So why not use what we have in providing more solutions to our problems? So that's what I see.
Right, indeed. And I saw some of the products and some of the installations you have. And I noticed some of the products you've done for the kitchen cabinets, for example, as well as the wardrobes. Are these, do you do the production of it, the manufacture of all the products you use for all the installations?
Yes, for what I do is as an architect, I bring in my own idea as an architect. I do the design. Right. I try to design something that is functional for people. And so once I do my design, I have workmen who help me in carrying out my design. So once I do my design, we have a cut list, and we go ahead to fabricate and produce and install such cabinets. But locally, what the materials that we use are usually purchased in our local market here, though majority of them are imported laminated boards. Right. Because I've come to realize that when I wanted to venture into woodwork, a lot of people are not they are not exposed, or I would say they haven't really they are not comfortable with the use of wood usually in their furniture. So they prefer something imported. They prefer to see something that is, looking very good and looking very imported. So
yeah, but why is that?
I don't know. I think it's a mindset. Right. I think it's a mindset. Yes. A lot of people feel if it's not from abroad, then it's not of good quality. So, but I think it's changing gradually. But that has been the issue. So most times, even those who are focused on woodwork, they don't have as much clients as those who use these other materials. And that is because people, and another problem that I've come to realize is that wood is not properly, it doesn't go through the proper process here in Nigeria. So nobody wants to go through the stress of, going through the clean and doing the drying of the wood, which makes it more durable, and it doesn't make it affected by termites. So, but because of our economical challenges here in Nigeria, coupled with the infrastructural problems we have, people don't have that patience to go through the processing of making a proper wood, to see it through to the final finish. So what they do is import this wood from China or from other parts of Europe, bring it to Nigeria and sell it. And that is what we use for most of our cabinets that we sell out.
Oh, well, mentioning even the mindset issue of thinking that only imported products can really be aesthetically beautiful. What are some of the other challenges in the sector specifically you would like to see changed?
Some of the areas I would like to see change is us having a proper trained workmen, skilled men in carpentry and in upholstery, because if you look at the way the nation is, most young people, very few people go into the training of learning these skills. So everybody wants to go to school, of course, which is the best, go to school and being trained as a professional in one field or the other. But those who go to the technical technical schools are very few. They are quite few. And these are the only people we rely on to make all these things for us. You can't call an ordinary graduate to help you couple things together and make a furniture. It's not possible.
Right.
A skilled person trained in that regard can do that. So I would want a situation whereby the government will focus more on, having most of these training schools for even graduates who are interested in learning the skill to learn more in this skill, so that we can have a more better finished product out there. Someone who is not educated, of course, might not be able to give out his best or her best in producing something, because they might not have eyes for details, which is very, very important. If you make products that looks shabby and looks really or not so good, you will see that your clients will keep rejecting your product. So why can't we train young people who are out of school, who don't have a job they are doing but are ready to learn, teach them on these skills and let them start up? And with that, we have furnitures who can also stand side by side with products like IKEA and other big furniture names out there, and we'll see that the economy will even be more stable, because people would rather buy in Nigeria than take their money to import furniture from Turkey or from Italy.
Is that where most of the foreign imports come from in the sector in Nigeria?
Yeah, I would say quality furnitures. Yes, mostly from Europe, from Turkey, and though most of them also coming from China. But of course, there's still this mindset. There's still this mindset of products that come from China that they're inferior. So they rather go for something they know might be of a higher grade. So they either buy from Dubai or buy from Turkey or buy from Italy.
Yeah, I think that is what the mindset issue that really needs to change, that we need to learn how to do our own products and our own indigenous.
Yes.
Yeah, so what's one of the thing you wish you had known when you began your career 12 years ago, nearly 12 years ago, right?
Yeah. For me, I would say when I started then, if I had known what I know now, maybe I would have started earlier. I was a person who never wanted to go into business, because I felt business was more of marketing, and I didn't know how to speak to people. I was more of an introvert. So I just wanted my own space. I felt, okay, let me just work for people, earn my money, and just move on with life. But I realized along the line that life must keep evolving. You cannot say this is who you are and not try to make changes in that regard. So if I was to say what I would have learned 12 years ago, I think I would say is to have, I would have loved had started early in learning a skill and not relying mostly on my certificate, and not saying, okay, I'm an architect and that is it. I have to find out other ways and search within, what else can I do? What am I talented in? What can my hands do for me? And just try to do things in that line, because you never know what can happen. You never know what life can bring your way. I would say I was forced into entrepreneurship because I became a widow at 31. But if that hadn't, if my husband was still alive, I don't know, I might not have been where I am today. So we shouldn't wait for circumstances to push us into making certain decisions for our lives, but rather start early and search within, what else can I do aside this that I'm doing now, aside my 9-to-5 job, aside this passion, what else can I use my hands to do that can also bring me more income? So and start looking towards that direction and start getting yourself trained in that direction.
Right. So you really said something crucial, which is that it's not only about the certificate that you have based on your training, even though that's useful, is that you end up finding something that you are passionate about and really get doing it. And for you, that really came through by actually getting to doing it without just waiting and being pushed to doing it, even though circumstances pushed you to do it. You did find your passion in that process. That's really a crucial that a lot of people need to really understand. Isn't it?
So yes, I think especially women, I would say this, especially for women, don't be too comfortable with where you are. Don't be too comfortable. Even, I don't know, you might be earning so much, or your husband might be earning so much and bringing so much home, but don't be too comfortable there. Try to look within you and search what else is. There's more to us than we actually know. If only we can look within and search with our heart to know, what else can I bring to the table? What else can I offer my world? What else can I contribute? That is when we can start getting answers to our questions. And once we start getting answers to those questions, then we start working towards that direction. Because if you do not do that, a lot of lives that are dependent on that decision would be lost to something else. So why not just pick up the challenge and move and look for other means or other ways of making life count. And for single mothers as well, I would say, don't rely on stipends that you are being given by an organization or family or friends. Look for other things you can do for yourself and make your own life better. Because if you do not do that, your children are going to suffer for it. So you have to wake up every day with the consciousness that people's lives are attached to mine, and I have to do something about it. And I have to look for solutions. I have to look for other ways in making life better, not only for myself, but for other people out there, because your own story is another person's hope. So if you do not pick up your life and make your own story a hope for somebody else, then the other person that is supposed to catch that hope from you might end up losing his or her own passion or career into something else. I remember when I posted a video on LinkedIn, which you saw.
Yes.
I had a lot of positive feedbacks. A lot of ladies like me, came into my DM and told me, I this is what I had always wanted to do. This is what this is like my passion. And I could feel what they were saying, because a lot of us have these things, but we just leave them there because possibly we don't know what to do or we don't know where to turn to. But just take it one step at a time. And that was what I did. I took it one step at a time. What can I do today? Who can help me achieve what I want to do today? And just keep moving like that, bit by bit, until you start making the kind of progress that would attract other people's attention.
Awesome. That's really insightful, what you mentioned. And I was wondering, what in your journey, what has been your biggest challenge, or should we say, failure or shortcoming, and how did you learn from it?
My biggest challenge, I think my biggest challenge was not staying true to myself and knowing what I needed to do fast enough in my life journey. I wasn't able to take the decisions I needed to make at the right time. So those are one of the challenges that I know I faced as a young person. I was so thoughtful in taking decisions that I needed to be taken. So I allowed a lot of time to waste, and I was afraid. I had so much fears. So my fears was one of my challenge. I didn't wake up early enough to face my fears and just push right through it.
How did you overcome?
How did I overcome my fear?
Yeah.
As I said, you take it one step at a time.
Yeah.
And as a Christian, I
Right.
tend to take a lot of my prayers to God. So whenever I'm afraid like that, I just take it back to God, and I just do it anyway. And I used to have a problem of procrastination as well. So I knew I needed to do something about it. So I needed to learn more. I needed to learn more on living a life of that is more accountable for myself, and also have a journal where I write down the things I needed to achieve and consciously force myself to do those things, because I realized that in life, if you do not do the things that needed to be done, it's never going to be done anyway. So
Yeah,
you
indeed.
have to consciously do the things that you need to do. You have to keep speaking to yourself, and reassuring yourself every time that yes, you can do it, and just push right in doing it, no matter what you feel it might take from you. Just do it. That video that I posted, I
Right.
I don't like posting things about myself, because there's just something about me that just gets me withdraw to myself and say, "Ah, why go all out there? Why not just stay where you are?" But I knew as an entrepreneur, you cannot get more clients, you cannot get more bigger deals if you do not make people know what you do. If you do not make people know, this is who I am, this is what I'm doing, this is the things, or these are the things that I can do. If you don't let them know that these are the things you can do, then their opportunity might never open up to you. So I posted the video, even though I'd done that video several years before then. I posted the video anyway and just said, okay, what should I say about it? And I spoke about it, a bit about myself.
Right. Right.
And I was surprised, I'm surprised by the feedback and the things that I've been able to get through that post. And shortly after that post, I saw my sister reshared a video of someone who said, one post changed my entire life. And I could just resonate to my own post, because I would say that the post is virtually changing my life, because I've been able to meet people who are ready to support me, who are ready to, give me their time, their advice, their, mentor me through this journey, which I have never imagined could happen. And it was just because I needed to take just that one step. So I would say that we should never be afraid. If I had been doing that, several years before now, possibly by now I might have been, far up there. So who knows?
No, you are getting there. You are getting there.
Yeah.
Olajumoke is already at the start, but you are definitely behind that. I wanted to ask you, you were mentioning about mentors.
Yeah.
Who are the 3 people who have been the most influential to you? It could be one, it could be, but who are some of those that have been most influential in your journey?
Okay. I have quite a number of them, but I will just mention number one of my one of people that are so influential to me is my sister. Yeah, she's a lady of many shades, so I always respect her for that, and I feel for a woman, for you to achieve quite a number of things in your life, you must be very, very disciplined. So I am learning so much from her, and aside that she's an elder sister to me, she's like a person I can always run to, and we can just have this mind mapping together and get solutions, and just brood over ideas. So I would mention her as one of my mentors. And secondly, I will mention Joy Ibudike. She trained me in furniture making. She's such an amazing woman. She actually started her furniture business when she was 14. So yeah, so she was born into a furniture making family. So she grew up into it, and she's presently running her business as well. So I was trained under her furniture school, in 2018, and since then she has been a very huge support to me. So she's like, whenever I'm confused about certain decisions that I need to make, she's like the next good person for me. And recently I also got enrolled in Cherry Blair Foundation mentorship initiative, where I was paired with a mentor in UK. Her name is Caroline Sanaf. So she has been a huge support also to me in my business. As I said, I don't have a background in business. I have no idea of what business entails. All I know about business when I was growing up is that you have to sell and you have to market.
Wow.
So I was put together by Cherry Blair Foundation with conjunction with ExxonMobil, and I had the training, and that opened me up to a lot of things that business was all about. So under her mentorship as well, I've grown to learn so much about business, on how I can move my business to the next level. So I will call these people my own mentor in my business, but in my career, Mrs. Architect Jumoke, she's a great woman, though she's like a mentor from afar, but I tend to learn so much from her. Aside that, she's an architect, she's a mom, she's a wife, she's a minister of the gospel, she has a foundation she's running as well. She has quite a lot of things that she's doing as a woman. Then as well, one of my mentors that I also look up to is Mrs. Zibukumawushika. She's an amazing woman, and she has been a chairman to a lot of big multinational organizations. She's also the owner of the Chair Center. It's a furniture company as well. These amazing women that I feel they are making so much impact in their world, and I look up to them to also fashion my life in that direction, and also even do much more than they are doing.
Awesome. I noticed you really mentioned earlier about giving back to the community, giving back from your own experiences back to the world and to other girls even, and you run a foundation, the Young Widows Might Foundation. Could you talk to us a little bit about that?
Yeah, the Young Widows Foundation Might was born out of my own story of being a young widow at 31. I saw the challenges that I faced as a woman, and I looked around and I didn't really see any foundation that was focused on that age of that group of women. So what I did was I went online and tried to get few widows that possibly they spoke about their story online. So I started the foundation, and what I do majorly is that I have 2 programs that I organize in a year. One is the Back to School initiative, which is aimed towards supporting young widows, children towards resumption of a new session. So we give out books, we give out financial support, we give out school bags, and every essentials that a child will need to resume back to school. We try to provide that for them. And in December, we also have our charity outing where we give out foodstuffs and clothing and financial gifts as well to widows around. So we go to different localities every December. We have done that in about 4 different areas in the past 2 years, and I'm also looking at doing the next one in another area. So I'm just moving around at least to affect the life of a young widow in any way we can. We have few partners that are supporting us with our vision.
Right.
So the foundation is still. I haven't done so much on it because of the other engagements that I have, but I'm looking at a situation where I can have a foundation that is making so much social impact into the life of the young widows. Probably have a hub where they could come together, and we have a product that will make as a foundation, we push it out there, sell, and use the proceeds to care for them and their children, because a lot of them are a lot of young widows. Most of them, whenever they lose their husband, it's either they don't have a good job or they are not even working at all. So it's difficult for them to pick up life and start all over. So it's a lot of challenge for them. So what we try to do as a foundation is to support them and let them know, okay, this is something you can do. I also try to share my story as much as I can, though I'm privileged enough to be educated in my own regard. So at least I had my master's before my husband passed on. But so most of these women don't even have that kind of opportunity.
That could be quite challenging, yeah.
Yeah, so it's a lot of challenge for them. And we just try to look for, okay, how can we make this person's life better? How can we, make this person come out of the situation? And that is what we keep doing by organizing empowerment and support. So the next level for me, or for the Young Widows Mind, is to have a hub for these young widows where they can come together. We make out products that we push to the market, sell, use the produce to care for them and their children. So it's like a win-win kind of thing. They are getting something out of it. The foundation is also growing, and we are also, making our own impact in the least possible way that we can.
Impressive. That's really a great way of giving back to the community and giving back to the society, and especially focused on women who have had the same kind of experience as you. That's really a great way of really doing it. We are coming to the end, and the key questions I always want to ask my guests: what are some of the issues in your profession nobody's talking about?
I would point out just one of them, and that is the issue of having, I won't call it supplanting, but I would say there are a lot of people who front as being an architect.
Right.
So you see someone who possibly, because he's a bricklayer for 30 years, will tell somebody and say, I can build a 3-bedroom for you. And they just go ahead and, map out these spaces and make it into a house. And, such persons will advise another friend and say, this was what I did. And that advise another friend. And if somebody else wants to engage an architect, and the architect is telling you, oh, this is my fee, this is my charges, and they're like, oh my God, why are you charging that much when I can get it for less? So it's affecting the profession, and we are not able to, break even as a profession. And that is why a lot of young architects, they rather do something else than focus on the design, because design is taken over by so many. You go online now and just Google, I want a 3-bedroom plan. You have thousands of them. So they just keep thinking, then why do I need an architect to do this for me when I can always get it for free or for a lesser fee? So it's affecting the profession greatly, and is reducing the number of people who are willing to, go into this profession and earn a living. Because at the end of the day, if you are going to calculate the number of jobs you are able to get as an architect in a year, you can't boast of having more than 1 or 2 that was able to pay your bills. So what happens to the rest, to the rest of the year? So how do you survive? How do you cope? But unfortunately, the government is not doing anything about it, and it's just a very big lapse that I can see in the profession, and which I feel if it is not quickly addressed, it will continue to cause a lot of problems. And that is why you see a lot of building collapse here and there, because anybody will tell you they can do a design. Even somebody who probably his father was a draftsman will tell you, I can do a design. And they don't know what it actually takes for you to be a professional architect. It is not just about putting spaces together. A lot of things go into it. You have to think about the structures, think about so many things, the form, the functionality of, you just have to think about so many things before you put these spaces together. But unfortunately, those who don't have that training front as one, and they go ahead and do it for people, and at the end of the day they get themselves burnt. But on the long run, what I'm just trying to say is that this really affects the profession, especially for the young architects that are coming up. It's a huge problem for us. It's a huge one for us.
Right.
And if it is not quickly tackled, I don't know, the future of architecture will gradually just fade away. And it is only the bigger firms that have made a name that will continue to survive. So,
yeah, it doesn't seem like the architectural regulatory agency is doing much, huh? Akon.
Yeah, they are trying to do as much as they can, but I would say they are not doing as much as they should, possibly because it's set up by the government, and people who are also supposed to enforce these regulations are also working for the government. So, and at the end of the day, most of the jobs come to them, so they are not even thinking of the young architects, what becomes of them, because even the young architects that work in their firm are not well paid. So at the end of the day, the whole problem is still there. So I think the regulatory bodies still has a lot to do in that regard, with the stuff that I spoke about earlier. They have quite a lot of things to do on that.
Right. Awesome. One last question. What's the one mindset change that led to your path of self-mastery and success? One thing that you could really point to that this is a one mindset change that sort of got you moving.
The mindset, right?
Yes. What is one mindset change?
Yeah. The one mindset change was that I cannot afford to be average. I cannot afford to stay the way that I am. Life is evolving. You cannot afford to stay where you used to be. So one of the mindset that I have to put inside of me as I was growing was that I have so much to offer my world. So I cannot afford to keep lazing away. I cannot afford to keep wasting the time that God has given unto me. So I have to make the best out of it. So I needed to keep working on that mindset to keep making positive changes within my own mind, within my own life, and producing results, because life is about results. Even if you know everything in the world and you are not producing results, nobody knows you, nobody can listen to you. So you have to keep working in that line and keep telling yourself, what next? What next can I do? What else can I do? What is the next thing for me to do? What is the next level? Or what is the next thing that God is asking me to do right now? And you keep pushing yourself to keep doing those things. And as God is opening you up to new things, to new ideas, look for people who can help you. I would say one of the mindsets as well that I would have to add quickly is get a lot of support systems. You cannot say, I have an idea and hide it and just, hide it in your pillar and say, it has to be only me that have to do this. You have to be open to collaborations, open up to other people that can also help you achieve your aim, achieve your dream. Life is not about I'm the first to do this. You shouldn't be fighting for I'm the first I'm the first woman doing this.
Right.
There must have been a man or a woman that is already doing it. Just collaborate with them, learn from them, and also take it up from there. Don't run after I'm the only one that should do this, and because of that you have great ideas, you are not implementing it and you're hiding it. Share with somebody that you know can help you and push it up from there so that you can keep growing.
Correct. So much nuggets of wisdom, Kehinde. Thanks a lot for being on the show today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Definitely appreciate it, and audience will definitely appreciate your knowledge, your mastery, your skills, and your passion for the profession in architecture. Where can our listeners connect with you online?
Yeah, I have an account with Instagram, Kenny_Daramola. Kenny, KENNY _Daramola is spelled DARAMOLA. That is my personal handle. And you can also follow me on Alessi Woodworks. It's on Instagram and it's on Facebook. On LinkedIn as well, I'm Kehinde Daramola. Kehinde is spelled KEHINDE, Daramola on LinkedIn. And you can also call me on my personal mobile number, which is +234 0865 744 016. Or send me an email to arc@kehindeDaramola@gmail.com.
Thanks a lot. And for all the audiences, you will definitely get more on Kehinde and her company on the website, impactmind.com. On the episode page, check out the episode page. You will get all of the work that she's been doing and all the architectural designs that she's done over the years or in the last year. Right? And your website will still be published, right? It's still coming up.
Oh, yes. Possibly before the end of the month, my website should be up.
Awesome. We'll share that as well with our audience.
Okay. Thank you so much, Bruno.
You're welcome. Thanks a lot for accepting our invitation to be on the show.
The pleasure is mine. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to Impact Mindset, where we build a community of relentless entrepreneurs. I hope you enjoyed the show. Stay informed and visit our website on impactmindset.com and follow me on Facebook and Instagram at FunBruno15, on Twitter and LinkedIn at FunBruno. If you are interested in private coaching and courses on startup strategy, ideation and concept development, contact me via podcast@impactmindset.com or visit my website at funbruno.com.